Hey guys, I'm Matt and I'm the original developer of the Texel density checking tool, it's a mouthful to say, and I've basically rebuilt it from the ground up for Unreal Engine 5 really. Um, so yeah, I'm going to hop into how to install it, so it's installed slightly differently than the first one, and then I'm just going to run you through the content that I have in here for checking your text density in your levels. So first thing you want to do is you obviously want to download off whichever store you're buying it from, and basically you're going to get a zip file. If you're on Fab, it might automatically add it in, hopefully, but if not, then if you get the zip file, then this is how you install it. Cool. So first of all, what you want to do is go to your projects file where you've got your uproject file here. So I'm in my uproject sort of directory, and to install it you basically want to create a new file in here called plugins with capital P. You see I've already got one in here. You want to right click, new, create folder, call it plugins with capital P, and this is where you want to put the plugin into. So ignore the compressed folder I've got here. I've just put it in here, and you want to extract it in here, and this will extract it out into a folder for you in a plugins folder you've made. If it doesn't show up straight away in your editor, then you may have to go into plugins, but I'll show you that in a second. But first of all, to make sure you've got the plugins coming in, you want to go to all. It doesn't stay in content, it's in the all file or all folder, and it's got its own separate folder here. So plugins, and you'll see this is here with all the content that we need. If this doesn't pop up, try an engine restart, and if it still doesn't pop up, if you go to plugins, so edit plugins and in your editor, and you basically just want to find it. Usually it's in project other, it'll be in here, it should be at the top. If it's not there, search it, but it's most likely not working, so contact me if that's not working, and I'll figure it out. But yeah, it should be in there. Enable it, you might have to restart, like it says down here. I've got it enabled. Cool. So to find it, go to all, go to plugins, just open the folder, and this will have all the logic and the material structure that you need for this, basically. So to run the tool, you want to right click the editor utility widget and just run it, and it'll pop up. This will pop up somewhere on your UI. Feel free to dock it somewhere. I'm going to dock it in the top left for now because I quite like having it up here, and you can just see all the tools I'm going to run you through from now. So the first thing is it's an actual UI compared to the first one, right? The first one before we were dragging in a blueprint, which is probably not the best thing if you're doing world partition and all that fun stuff. So I've added a lot of features to kind of streamline the process. So I'm sorry if you hear clicking in the background. First of all, what we want to do is start organizing some of these materials in my scene. So to do that, I'm just going to click the Get Unsorted Materials button, and this will just look through your selection. So I can select multiple things here. Let's just select all of this. I know this is pretty much all my materials at the moment in the scene, and I'm just going to go Get Unsorted, and it's basically going to go through each mesh and check if their materials are already sorted into these arrays down here. If I hide that, these are your Texel density arrays. So let's start sorting these. So if you shift right click, you can copy like an index, and then let's say I want the white to be 512, or it's a 512 Texel density sort of material, texture, tiling, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to do the blue as a 2K. I meant to click a 1K, but we'll go for 2K for an example. So this is 2K to texture. This is a 512 texture, tiling texture. If you have assets as well, you can chuck assets in here. It'll do the same thing. If you've got baked assets or unique maps, as long as you put it in the right text density slot, that you're aiming for, then you know, you're good to go really. Cool. I'm just going to bin off these unsorted now. So now I've got these in. Let me open up one. I can select these again, and if I do get unsorted, you'll see now they don't appear. So I've got my two glass materials, which is these two, and my grey sort of metal, I'm calling it. It's not really a metal for now. But those three materials obviously aren't sorted, so they'll pop up. So yeah, let's just bin that for now. Cool, so checking Texel density, what you need to do is click one of these buttons underneath. There's toggle all, which is, I'm just going to give you a pre-warning, a bit dangerous if you've got a large map. Because of the way this works, it uses dynamic materials, just so it knows, you know, holds a reference to each individual actor in the world, material wise. So if I toggle all on here on this scene, go into unlit, you can see, you know, my performance isn't too bad, but just a warning, if you've got a large scene with loads of textures in here, can get a bit performance heavy, but it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. Which is why, if I toggle off again, I've created a toggle selected, so you can select a few assets, actors in your scene. It works on blueprints as well, and we can toggle selected. And you can see here the white is larger because it's a 512, and this is, you know, to the power of 4 or whatever times more, because it's a 2K. So that's that. Oh no, my dog's barking. So that's what that does. We've got some extra stuff in here, so I think I've got a second UV channel on here. That should change. I'll update that. If I toggle select, yeah, you can see here. You can see here it's tiling differently because it's using the second UV channel, and he took that text up, so that'll be fixed in the next patch. And this opacity as well will be 0 to 1. So what this does is, you see I've got 512 materials R, G, B and Y. This is just so you can see which size corresponds to which colour. So if I toggle all again, I should get a red and a blue, because I've got anything that's white should be red, or anything using these materials, these 512 materials, will be red, so you know that this is a 512 texel density that you're aiming for. And anything that's blue should be a 2K in this case. You can change these to your liking, but I've named the arrays to this, so just to keep it consistent. And that's pretty much it. The last thing I want to point out is saving. There is a data asset in here which it will save to. It will probably check this out if using version control or anything. You can also go in and edit this, but I've also added a search bar up here if you end up needing to search for, you know, say I put this white into both of these and I'm like, oh, this isn't right. Almost, I said this isn't white. You can search for white here and it'll show you both of these. If you put them in both, let me turn the colorize off. It will use the lowest one, whichever one it hits first, which is, you know, it cycles through the arrays sort of downwards. So if I go, you know, see it's in 1K now, and not the 512, it's obviously updated. And you can save these materials by hitting save. And if I open up this data text density asset thing here, or data asset, you can see it saved my materials in here. So now if I exit the tool by accident or I crash, as long as I've hit save and I've been able to check it out if you're using source control, I can run it again and you see my materials are back in here. But yeah, that's it. Search functions, you can add favorites, you can right click and add favorites, and you can toggle the favorites if you wish. I guess it doesn't really filter much. And you can also, you know, show any modified or show all parameters. Or, you know, I've added all this functionality in. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if there's any issues. It works on everything that you need now. But yeah, thank you very much. Have a great day.